Positive Anime Reviews is a review show that is designed for people who aren't very picky about their anime, like me. Most anime I watch ends up in my 5 out of 5 category. My reviews are for those people who are looking for a reason to watch anime rather than hate on it. I am willing to give any and all anime a chance before stating my opinion. Lastly, my reviews are all my opinion and might and or most likely won't match yours. If you don't agree, that's totally fine, just be respectful in the comment section, thank you. And as always, there is a spoiler section ahead, but don't worry, I'll warn you first. Hey guys, Darth Glork here, back with another positive anime review. Today we will be talking about No Game, No Life, as well as the movie which is No Game, No Life Zero. So, I'm assuming, I don't know what I wrote in the title, but I assume in the title I probably wrote plus movie, just because it's easier to fit in the title. So that's probably what I did. But you know, for your information, the movie is called No Game, No Life Zero, in case you're wondering. So, today, of course, like I said, talking about No Game, No Life. So, we are going to touch upon the movie as well, because this review covers both, and I think that's everything. So, before we hop into this review for realsies, so the uploads today, this is going to be it. I had lots of stuff going on today, and so this will be the only video going out today. Tomorrow is Tuesday. That will be normal, completely normal uploads. Wednesday might be weird because again I have something going on, but I'm gonna try my best to work to get to record that day anyway, and so I think I can make that one work because I don't have to go as far on Wednesday. So the uploads this week might be weird, but I'm hoping to record Tuesday through Saturday. So in case you are wondering, there hopefully will be mostly normal, as we'll be doing our darndest. Anyway, so pushing on into the review. So when did this anime air? So as far as the season goes, the season aired in the spring 2014 season, and the movie released in 2017, which is July of 2017. So obviously they were a few years apart, of course. No Game, No Life had been out a few years. I actually didn't realize that they had gotten a movie afterwards, because the last time I watched it, No Game, No Life was that's all there was. And so I didn't actually know that. Is there a dub? I don't know. I lean towards yes, but I lean towards yes, but don't quote me because I didn't really look, to be honest. And I don't know if there is for the movie or just the season. I don't know. But again, didn't look, so I couldn't really tell you. Now, is this an adaptation from a manga? No Game, No Life is an adaptation from a light novel, and the movie is the same thing, both from a light novel. So, something else I absolutely should read. I would assume it goes farther. I absolutely should read it. Anyway, so I absolutely should read this. So in the past, and I want to touch on this before we go farther. In the past, I have, when I was reviewing a movie, I didn't cover it. Like, I would talk about my initial season, and then I would kind of poke at maybe the movie or whatever, but I don't really touch on it like the full thing. So this time I'm trying something new. So I have the page information for the season open, and I have the information for the movie open, and we're kind of hopping back and forth and answering the same questions for both. It's something that I'm gonna try maybe for now on. Hopefully I remember, but it's something that I'm gonna try thinking about doing for now on. Mostly because I think that way you would get a complete review for everything I'm talking about. Whereas in the past, I think I might not have gone deeply enough on other things. So we will have to see if that works, and in the future I might stick to that system. So we will have to see. Anyway, so let's go ahead and launch right into the synopsis of the season first, because of course that comes before the movie, and then we will probably hop onto the movie as well. But anyway, so first of all, of course, the season. No Game, No Life is a surreal comedy that follows Sora and Shiro, shut-in neat siblings, and like that's neat as in N-E-E-T, like shut-in, where it's not like N-E-A-T, like they're really cool. Anyway, just thought I should let you know. And the online gamer duo behind the legendary username Blank. They view the real world as just another lousy game. However, a strange email challenging them to a chess match changes everything. The brother and sister are plunged into an otherworldly realm where they meet Tet, the god of games. The mysterious god welcomes Sora and Shiro to Disboard, a world, and that's not Discord, that's Disboard, and I always think about that every time I hear it. A world where all forms of conflict, from petty squabbles to the fate of whole countries, are settled not through war, but by way of high-stake games. This system works thanks to a fundamental rule wherein each party must wager something they deem to be of equal value to the other party's wager. In this strange land, where the very idea of humanity is reduced to child's play, the indifferent genius enthusiast gamer duo of Sora and Shiro have finally found a real reason to keep playing games, to unite the 16 races of Discord, defeat Tet, and become the gods of this new gaming is everything world. So, of course, that is the synopsis for the season, and back when I saw this originally, I was immediately hooked. The first thing is just the cover art, like, was really pretty, and then the synopsis sounded so cool. So, back when I watched this originally, so this particular time going through it, this will be my third time. It's like my second or third time going through, and so I have seen this before. The movie was my first time seeing it this time around, so this is not new for me. Now, of course, something else I should probably touch on, this is the anime I watched between the seasons of Yuri that I'm watching. I've already started season 2, and I am working on that, but this is what I watched in between, and it'll have to happen at least one more time, because I know that there is at least season 3 of Yuri, and so I'll probably watch something in between that as well. Something on the shorter side, again, most likely, and then we'll hit season 3. So just so you're aware, that's the reason there's kind of a rapid barrage of positive anime reviews coming out, because that's why this is happening the way that it is. So as far as the synopsis for the movie goes, so the movie, what's interesting is it's actually labeled as a prequel. It's not actually a sequel. It takes place before the anime takes place. So admittedly, what I assumed, when I heard that there was a movie and I heard it was a prequel, what I initially assumed was that I was like, oh, cool, maybe they tell the story of Sora and Shiro as kids, which was immediately I loved that idea, because Sora and Shiro are amazing, and I would love to see a movie about them as kids, because I think that their relationship is amazing. And then it turns out that that's not what it was about. So kind of a sad realization for me. But moving into the synopsis here so you can get an idea what the movie's about. In ancient Discord, Riku is an angry young warrior intent on saving humanity from the warring Exceed, the 16 sentient species, fighting to establish the one true god amongst the old Deus. Deus? I'm assuming that's how you say that. In a lawless land, humanity's lack of magic and weak bodies have made them easy targets for the other Exceed, leaving the humans on the brink of extinction. One day, however, hope returns to humanity when Riku finds a powerful female ex machina. I mean, it's so here's how that's spelt, by the way. It's EX-MACHINA. If you were going to just say it, that would be machina, but in the anime, they were pronouncing it machina, and I think ex machina sounds amazing. So ex machina is fine, but I think ex machina sounded cool, so I decided to go with that. Anyway, just so you know why I'm saying it that way. Finds a powerful ex machina who he named Shui. Also think I'm saying that right. That's SCHWI. I think that's Shui. Sorry if that's not right again. Sorry. In an old abandoned elf city. Exiled from her cluster because of her research into human emotion, Shui is convinced that humanity has only survived due to the power of these feelings and is determined to understand the human heart. Forming an unlikely partnership in the midst of the overwhelming chaos, Riku and Shui must now find the answers to their individual shortcomings and in each other, and discover for themselves what it truly means to be human as they fight for their lives together against all odds. Each with a powerful new ally in tow, it is now up to them to prevent the extinction of the human race and establish peace through Discord. So obviously, from a synopsis, that's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Admittedly, not as entertaining for me as the actual anime is, because Sora and Shiro aren't in it. Sorry, spoiler alert. It's not a spoiler. You would know that the first 10 seconds you open the movie. So they're only in they have one tiny appearance and that's it. So just so you're aware. Anyway, and so obviously it is what it is. So of course we will get into all my thoughts about specific things later on. But moving on to rating. So how clean or dirty is the anime? So the anime part of things is pretty ecchi. It has quite a few ecchi scenes. It happens all the time, and some of it is presented in maybe a lot of it is presented in a comedy way, and so it leans a little bit closer to High School DxD over possibly other more mature ecchi ways. It's more High School DxD than High School of the Dead, if that can help put that in perspective for you. But sometimes it is, but I don't know. It's always presented in kind of a funny way that even made me like. Somehow they managed to make it so I didn't roll my eyes, and sometimes I do. Admittedly, some of the ecchi like anime, especially even if there's comedy mixed in, it often comes across as stupid, and I just can't. But this one found a way that made it so it wasn't eye rolly, and they deserve an award for that because that's not very common. But they found a way to do it. So as far as cleanliness goes, it's probably a PG-13 because it has quite a few super ecchi parts in it, but nothing like it's not hentai or anything. But it does lean pretty heavy on the ecchi scale. However, the movie is quite different. The movie, I think, still gets a PG-13, but it's not for ecchi. I would say for its violence. And now it's not super violent, but there is lots of action in the movie, whereas in the anime, there is... In the anime, not so much. The anime has different qualities about it, so a lot of the time, I mean, it's a really fun watch, the actual anime is, because the whole time, so there's these games, and Sora and Shiro are both geniuses. So it's like super entertaining to watch these guys play these games, and then having it revealed how they won is always so cool. And it's awesome to see like how they think ahead and how they win, and I love it. So it's super interesting on that scale, whereas the movie had a very different feel. The movie felt far more like mature, if that makes any sense, and there wasn't like maybe anything ecchi. There's almost nothing ecchi in it at all. It's far more serious, whereas the anime definitely leans towards the goofy, but there's a lot of serious moments. It leans a little bit more towards the goofy and definitely a lot ecchi, but the movie not so much. Regardless though, they both get PG-13s. So as far as genre goes, obviously for the anime, the genre is obviously game, adventure, comedy, supernatural, ecchi, and fantasy. Everything you would expect. But the movie side of things is game, supernatural, drama, romance, fantasy. Like I said, even from the genre list, you can kind of get an idea that the movie is more mature and far more serious and honestly pretty heavy. There was some pretty heavy parts there was a lot of heavy parts in the movie actually, and so it's definitely on the mature side for sure. So as far as season length, how long is this season? So of course the anime is 12 episodes, 23 minutes apiece, and as far as which is nothing unusual. But as far as the ending goes, a lot of the time there wasn't an ending so much as they were just showing credits and lightly playing the song as scenes were happening. So I would advise you to stick to the end of as far as the show goes, just to double check, because admittedly juggling between anime like this, like in this weird way that I'm doing it, I've never done anything like this before. So I'm like watching shows between seasons of a show. Never done that. And so because of it, it's getting a little hard to remember which did what as far as like, is there anything after the theme song? Is there a theme song? That type of thing. So I would advise you for No Game No Life to stick all the way to the end, because I'm pretty sure most of the time, at least some of the time, they are showing something while they're playing the credits and the theme song, so you can't really miss it. Just keep watching. Now, as far as the movie goes, there is nothing after the credits, so there is some extra scenes, but once the credits hit, that's it. So once the actual like black screen credits are rolling, it is officially over. Anyway. So as far as like the length, obviously, like I said, the length of the anime is 23 minutes, nothing new. But the length of the movie is an hour and 46 minutes. So nothing unusual for a movie. I feel like that's pretty standard. Nothing unusual. So it's an hour and 46 minutes for the movie. Okay, let me go ahead and take a drink for my poor throat, and we will move on to our character list. Okay. Character list. So, moving on to our character list, of course, we will be starting with the anime because this is the primary thing we're here for, and we'll be hopping on this. So, our first main character, we have Sora. So, Sora is the dude and I guess the only dude other than, there's like a couple of tiny support characters, but like but yeah, like Sora is pretty much the only guy. So he wears, of course, the yellow shirt. He has like that I know what I'm doing smile, and that is Sora. He is one half of the sibling duo Blank. And keep in mind that they're actually step siblings. They're not actually siblings. I think at best, she might just be adopted. But regardless, they're not actually siblings. With a lot of the humor in the anime, and a lot of things that are lots of they're always joking that Sora and Shiro like have like romantic interest, or like that Shiro
has romantic interest in Sora at least. Well, actually, no, I guess he does too. So yeah, that they have it in each other. Just keep in mind that they're not actually siblings. So so don't let that turn you off if that's something that bothers you. Anyways, back to Sora. So Sora, as far as characters go, he's awesome. Because Sora and Shiro, like I said, are both like genius level. Now they are both genius level in different ways. They both have different parts of gaming that they're good at. But regardless, both are like incredibly smart, and they are like they never lose. They take first place in any game they play. They are complete shut-ins. They never leave the house. In fact, they are terrified of leaving the house. And so the only things that they feel like they're good at is, of course, gaming and such things. So it's interesting because obviously Sora and Shiro are super close, and when they have serious moments, like the short flashback sequences to when they're kids, it's awesome. And then you see that Sora really cares about Shiro, and that he's not just goofy, that he has this serious side, that he legit worries about Shiro, and he legit loves her, and he legit takes care of her. And that real connection meant the world to me, because of course I am often a more of a serious anime person. And so, of course, I live for that stuff. So, as far as personality goes, he is not only a smart dude and not only good at gaming, but he's kind of... what's the word? He's super confident. He's incredibly confident, and he's incredibly like I don't want to say like prideful, because when he wins, he doesn't like rub it in. But he's a funny dude, and I don't know. He's not prideful. He's happy that he won, and he like knows that he will. You know what I mean? And then as far as personality goes, he is ultimately, I would say pretty much a good person, because mostly it's kind of selfish interest, so it's not like super black and white as far as is he a good person or not. But I would guess I would label him a good person, because he's super sticking up for humanity when in this world humanity gets stepped on, and they are the lowest of the low, and especially in the movie it's even worse. But of course in the movie these guys don't matter. So, but in the anime, that's what we're talking about first. In the anime, Sora and Shiro are doing their best, and they want to take over the world, basically, and then they want to beat the god of games, Tet. So that's ultimately their goal. So they have to start somewhere, and so they are starting with, getting humanity under control. But it's funny when they are sent to this gaming world, how quickly they fit in, because obviously all these guys do is games. All these guys do is game. They're the top of the list of whatever they play, and they're obviously geniuses. And so it's interesting when they move to this world, how quickly they adapt, and how quickly they go from we don't have anything to like, oh look, we rule the country. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. And it like escalates incredibly quickly, and it's really interesting. But Sora, ultimately, he's super caring about Shiro especially, and he does ultimately care about the other like few supporting characters that are here as well. He does care about the ones that are in his immediate circle. And that's that's nothing that's nothing unusual, nothing crazy about that. And of course I loved Sora and Shiro's relationship, and of course I shipped the snot out of it, so no surprise there. And that's basically Sora. He's incredibly confident, incredibly smart, and it's always really cool to watch like the how did they win explained. It's a really cool, and sometimes makes your brain hurt with trying to keep up with the plot explained. He was awesome. So moving on to our next main character, we have Shiro. So Shiro is the other half of our, pseudo sibling duo. And Shiro, Sora, I think is 18, 17. I think Sora is 17 or 18, something like that. And Shiro is 11, I believe. Anyway, and so Shiro is a super on the young side, but she is a genius beyond her years by a lot, by quite a lot. And there's lots of reveals in the anime about how Sora and Shiro together are unstoppable, because what they're good at complements each other so well, that they're able to together they are unstoppable. Apart they do have weaknesses, but together they take care of things. And so Shiro is super like, I don't want to say like kind of stone-faced on the surface, if that makes any sense. I forget what the name of the archetype is, but it's the one where basically they don't show a lot of emotions on the surface, but basically when Shiro shows a little bit of emotion, it kind of has more of an impact, because you're able to really appreciate it and really absorb what you know, it helps it make it more seem more important to you. You know, you pay more attention, and you super pay attention when Shiro shows emotion, because that's not normally, she doesn't normally show very much. And so, you know, and I'm okay with that. And of course, she loves her older quote unquote brother Sora a lot, and of course together they are unstoppable. And she's awesome. She is a genius, incredibly like otherworldly smart. She is insanely smart. And so as far as appearance goes, I forgot to mention that she is the lighter haired girl. She's definitely the youngest looking, minus one side character. Anyway, she's one of the youngest looking too, and she's like lighter haired. It might be pink, white. It's a little hard to tell. The picture's very small, and I don't remember. So hang on, quick drink. My throat's killing me. So anyway, so so Shiro's pretty like kind of, she's pretty emotionless seemingly on the surface, but there's a lot going on underneath, and I am okay with that. And that's pretty much Sora and Shiro. Together they're unstoppable, but it's funny because like I said, that they are shut-ins for a reason. They are terrified of going out IRL. And it is funny because not only are they like scared of going out like in daylight around people, they're like scared to death of people, which, you know, freaking same. They are like, they're actually to the point where they can't be too far away from each other. Like they have like a proximity. Otherwise they're completely like helpless. They just quiver on the ground. Like if they're more than like 20 feet apart. And that's not even a joke. It happens several times in the anime that they can't function because they're too far away from each other. So it's like that they can't even exist unless they're within like, you know, 20 feet or eyesight of each other. So it's funny because I loved that. It always made me smile. So it's interesting to like to the level of dependent on each other they are, because they can't even be more than like 20 feet apart without like breaking down. So, you know. So moving on to what the site classifies as the last main character, we have Stephanie Dola. So Stephanie, often referred to as Steph, she is our red-haired, I guess it's like red-haired character. And it's funny because she is an in-game, like she was from the game world when Sora and Shiro meet her. So she was from the game world. She is the daughter of the former human king. And so mostly she's there for like the comic relief, but everyone kind of like picks on her. And the way it's handled, it doesn't feel too bad because, of course, deep down Sora and Shiro do care about her, and in their own kind of twisted, funny way. And so Steph is a really likable character. At least I liked her because she's mostly there for like I said, kind of the comic relief. But she does have feelings. She does have emotions, and the anime recognizes that. And she does have lots of cool scenes. And really, she was a really likable character. But as far as like how is she in personality? Stephanie is pretty funny. Like she's always super flustered because she's trying to keep up with Sora and Shiro, and there's a lot to keep up with, admittedly. And so she often doubts, like at least at first, like how they do things and what they're doing and why. But it doesn't take long before she's better about accepting like how they do things in the weird way that she doesn't necessarily understand at first, because, you know, she sees how quickly that they're doing stuff. And then there's all these scenes where Sora and Shiro are doing the right thing, and then once Stephanie realizes that, then she's fully behind them and she fully supports them. But she was a super likable character, that she was super caring about Sora and Shiro and humans as a race, and as the kingdom, which most of the rest of all the races, you know, step on humans, so obviously they don't care about them, but Stephanie super does. And then she loves Sora and Shiro when they start doing the same thing. Hang on, another drink. Like I said, my throat's killing me. Anyway. Oh, sorry. I think I had like a too big of a dinner or something, and I haven't had my Rockstar yet, so I have a headache and like I feel full. I'm falling apart over here. Anyway, but there's not too much to say about Stephanie. That she's a funny girl, but I love that there was a lot more going on than might let on, and I really liked that. And so that's all that the site classifies as main characters. There is a few more supporting characters, but there's not too many, and of course the anime will introduce you to the rest. But considering we have a lot to cover, I kind of need to keep this clipping along, because we'll be here forever otherwise. So here's where things get interesting. Obviously, first of all, No Game No Life 0, the movie, obviously it doesn't, everything is different. It had a couple of the supporting characters in the beginning and then at the very end, but Sora and Shiro aren't there. They have like one scene, and otherwise they're not even barely in it. The whole anime is about this dude named Riku and Shui, which basically they look like they look like Sora and Shiro with a different color scheme. And then there is a girl named Corone, and Corone is Stephanie with a different aesthetic. And that's that's basically it. Personality wise, they're pretty similar. They're all very similar. Like Shui is also pretty stone faced, just like Shiro. Riku is pretty has that evil smile, like I'm crushing you at games. And Corone is like Stephanie, but a little less shrill and a little less wishy-washy and a little more a little more serious. And then the first thing you realize is the stakes of the movie are higher and everything is a lot more serious. So Riku is the main dude of the movie. He is he's Sora but with a lighter hair color, and he's like one of the only, if not the only guy, and so he's easy to recognize. I'll have to see if I can find a picture of the movie, mostly just so I can show off just the initial 3 characters. But anyway, darn it, my throat is killing me. I can't take it. But quickly you'll realize that the stakes are far higher. Riku is like Sora, but if he was more intense and depressing and angry. That quickly you'll realize that the comedy moments of the movie are very few and far between, and the stakes are very, very high. It has a very different vibe in a lot of ways than the anime does, and it's something that you'll pick up on pretty quickly. Riku as a character, he's a very angry dude, and then once his story is revealed, it's shown why, and it's revealed why, and then you have sympathy for him, but he's an angry guy, and he's not I don't want to say he's not likable, because he is. He's a lot like Sora, obviously, and he looks a lot like him if his color scheme was different. But he's not as fun, if that makes any difference. Like his world is so much more depressing that it is that I don't know. He's just. It makes I don't know about anyone else that has seen it, but I miss I really miss Sora and Shiro at several points in the anime. I'm like, man, I miss Sora, Shiro, and Stephanie. Like they were it was so it was different. Especially once things were revealed, and I don't want to make it sound like it was uninteresting, because it was, and the characters were likable, just like Sora, Shiro, and Stephanie are all likable. It's no different. It's just that they do have a different feel, because the stakes around them are so much more intense and so much more brutal that it makes A plus B equals C. So because of their situation, it makes sense that why they are the way that they are. But yeah, so no surprise there. And so. Obviously, so like I said, Riku is our main dude. So the main girl, her name is Shui, and I think that's how you pronounce that. But regardless, she is Shiro of the past. And like I said, the movie is a prequel set 6,000 years ago or whatever, into the past. So Shui is Shiro, but a different race and mostly machine. And 6,000 years old. And as far as characters go, of course, she was just as lovable as Shiro was. But if Shiro had I don't know, if Shiro was more robotic and I don't know, I guess that would make her Shui. But and again, it was okay. And as far as characters go, she's the one that looks like a robot. She's mostly pretty human-ish looking, but she has a darker hair color, and of course, like I said, she has lots of machine parts all over her, so she should be pretty easy to recognize. And it was fine, but like I said, the stakes were so much higher that all these characters were so much more mean and not as happy and kind of aggressive that it was a little hard to like them, comparatively. And that's not too much to say about these characters, because there's not that much going on. They're just angry and trying to survive, and that's all their characters are pretty much. And then once things develop as far as plot goes, they do develop as characters, but lots of things happen, and it's complicated, and I don't want to get into spoilers, so I'm trying to be careful what I say. And then the last main character of the movie is Corone. Now again, Corone is the Stephanie, but is actually Stephanie's ancestor incredibly far in the past, which everyone would know, because she has similar hair color, but it's darker, and her character is more serious than Stephanie is. Otherwise, they're exactly the same. Because again, they did that on purpose. It's supposed to. You're supposed to look at that and see oh look, it's like Shiro. Oh look, it's like Sora. Oh look, it's like Stephanie. it was done on purpose, obviously, because they couldn't have done that unintentionally, obviously. And so it was done on purpose, and so it's super easy. Like there's a few reveals that are surprises literally nobody, because they look just like them. Even their voice actors are the same, and so it's no surprise. And as far as characters go, Corone, she was like Stephanie, but more mature and hardened because of the life she's in, trying to keep humans alive in a world where they're getting slaughtered. So when they are like approaching extinction because of how badly everything is going. And not too much to say there, honestly. And that's pretty much it. So that's pretty much the characters. There is a couple of supporting characters in the movie, but almost nothing new. There was a couple glimpses of a couple characters, but very little new, and that was kind of it for the movie. There wasn't too much going on that was new. It was mostly just revolving around mostly pretty much revolving around these ancestral versions of these three characters, pretty much. And otherwise, which surprises nobody. So as far as my moving on to our favorite / most hated characters, my favorite characters, again, this is going to be super broken, but Sora and Shiro. I love Sora and Shiro, and they're like the two main characters, so it's like, surprises nobody. And so, it doesn't sound super fair to say it, but yeah, I love Sora and Shiro. They're awesome. I love them together. I ship them to death, and I love their relationship. I love how much they need each other. It's super cool. But as far as most hated characters, I didn't hate anybody. Like there's no one that I hated. They were all fine. And then as far as the movie goes, like, I didn't really like anybody or hate anybody. Like, there's nobody that I hated, and I didn't love anybody either, because like I said, Riku, Shui, and Corone are all just more serious, more dystopian versions of Sora, Shiro, and Stephanie. And so because of it, I just missed the other set. I didn't love the prequel versions, and that's nothing wrong against them. It's not their fault that their world is brutal and unforgiving. That's just the byproduct. That's how that happens. And, not too much to say there. So another water break, and we'll move on to animation and music. So, moving on to animation and music. So as far as animation goes, that is one of the standout things about No Game No Life, is the colorful. It is one of the most colorful anime I've ever seen. It's very bright, very colorful. No doubt, as the wallpapers that you're probably looking at show, it is incredibly colorful. The movie and the anime are both, I would say, the same quality, but the production value of the movie, I would imagine, is higher, just because seems to be pretty common. But the movie was less colorful, and that's not because I don't think they had the inability to. It's just it was more serious, and so there was more darker colors in it, and that's just to contribute to the feeling of the anime. I don't think that was anything wrong with that. But the anime, it's very colorful, and sometimes it's almost distractingly so, but it was really good, and it is amazing. There's lots of moments where you're just, all you can do is stare because it's so colorful. So it's one of the things that I would say the anime is known for, is how colorful it is, and it's well deserved, I would say. So, and like I said, that the movie is pretty much the same thing, but it's a little bit darker because of its more darker theme. So that it makes sense. And as far as music goes, the music was good. The opening for No Game No Life, the intro, it's well done. It's a little more low key. It's not quite the super predictable pop or even screamo that often the anime intros are. It's more chill, and I like that. I think it kind of fits the theme of the anime perfectly, and it's totally fine. Otherwise, I don't feel like that there was too much just like regular ambient music otherwise. And then as far as the outro is also very chill as well. And then again, I think it fits the theme really well. And I don't recall too much amazing ambient music. Not necessarily. I don't feel like. I don't think there's anything too crazy there. So that's basically it. So, moving on to final rating and recommendation. If I can find my document. There it is. Okay, so of course we will hit the anime first. So for the anime No Game No Life, I'm going to give this one no less than a 6 out of 5, one of my favorites. This anime is one of my favorites, and I love it. because of course the anime is amazing. I love Sora, I love Shiro, I love the setting, I love like the reveal and the mystery of how they're winning these games that are seemingly impossible. I love seeing them overcome the odds, and it's a great time. And then we'll get to recommendation after both of the ratings. And then as far as the movie goes, No Game, No Life 0, I'm going to give this one a 4 out of 5. Not bad. This anime was mostly really good with one or two things that bothered me, but is still worth a buy. So, there you go, kids. The reason that the movie gets less, I don't know, man. Maybe part of it was the disappointment that it wasn't about Sora and Shiro, but about these other people. Maybe that was part of it. And I think a lot of their situation, I loved the action of it. I loved the fighting, and I liked the seriousness. But the fact that it was a no game, no life, I think I didn't like that. I liked the serious, I liked the brutality, I liked everything about it. I didn't love the fact that it was about other people, and I don't love the fact of some of the reveals, which I'm not going to get into until the spoiler section. So some of the reveals I think are not super bueno, and I don't know. It made me miss the anime. It wasn't as bright and colorful, which by itself is fine. Again, I'm okay with that. I just wish if they had done a movie, I wish they had done it about Sora and Shiro. Like maybe their childhood would have been amazing. Because like the unfortunate fact is, even if the movie, it didn't contribute anything. Like, let's just, for all intents and purposes, if the movie was erased from existence, if it never existed, you wouldn't really be out anything. Like, nothing would be different. You know what I mean? Like, nothing, like, it wouldn't be, like, the anime would be exactly the same as it was before. So now you know the brutal history of the world, but it doesn't really change, like, your view of the modern day, like, races. It doesn't really change your view, like, point of other things. So, I don't know, like, was it still good? Yes. Was it as good if it was about Sora and Shiro, something related to them? Probably not. And now again, keep in mind, all that is entirely my opinion, but that's more or less how I feel. Was it still good? Yes. Is it still worth buying? Yes. I'm happy I watched it? Yes. It's just not, I don't think is as good as it could have been, but it was still good. So, and that's pretty much it. So as far as recommendation goes, of course, I recommend both of these. The anime I recommend highly because it is so awesome. The movie, it was good, but go in knowing that it's not going to be quite as good as the anime, or even maybe not even that. Maybe go in keeping in mind that it's going to have a different feel than the anime does. At least, yeah, it'll have a different feel. And so I think you should be aware when you go into that. And that is pretty much it. So there will be a spoiler section, but it'll be incredibly short because A, I'm out of breath, and B, because I don't want to spoil too much. I just want to touch on a few things for the movie. The anime, I'm not going to talk about because it's amazing. Go watch it. But the movie, I think you should know specifically why I necessarily don't love it as much, and so I think you should know. So let's go ahead and hop into the spoiler section. And of course, if you don't want to hear spoilers for the movie, I would recommend bailing right now because in very shortly you're about to hear a few things. Let me go ahead and take a drink, and we'll hop into this. Okay, so if you're still here, it means you want to know why I don't love the movie as much. Okay, so basically, a lot of it is the ending. The ending. So Shui and what the heck were their names? It was Shui and what? Shui and Riku. So Shui and Riku, they actually fall in love in the movie. So in the movie, Corone is actually Riku's sister. And so, I mean, I don't know if that was by blood or like kind of adopted in, but they're like more or less family, unofficially or otherwise. And so Shui and Riku fall in love and get married. And it was adorable. I loved it. It was like headcanon for Sora and Shiro for me. But regardless, they get married and it was adorable. So there's this scene where actually this supporting character that's in the anime too, which, you'll meet her. So there was this fight scene and then Shui dies and Riku is heartbroken. And Riku sees a lot of his friends die throughout the whole experience of the movie, and it makes sense. It's brutal. Humans are being slaughtered. That makes sense. But Shui dies too, and then at the end, Riku dies. And so just everyone dies. Like, I don't know, like, you can, I guess it kind of makes you appreciate where they came from as a world, but I just don't feel like it contributed much, because then it was kind of a heartbreaker, man, because the side character that, from the anime actually, that kills Shui is one of the it is someone you know. It is a character that you like. It is a quote unquote a good guy character. But she, just the way things worked out back in the day, was on the opposite side of Shui, and so she kills her. So it's just brutal because everyone dies. It's nothing but heartbreak. It's kind of a tearjerker, and then like Corone is the only one that survives. So it just feels like, I don't know. It's like this whole roller coaster of emotion that you got through, and you don't really feel like there was much of a reason. Like, you're like, why couldn't you have just talked about like Sora and Shiro as kids or something, or make it a sequel even better? Like, I don't know. Like, I'm okay with the prequel. It just felt like it didn't feel like it actually added anything but a lot of heartbreak, and I didn't really need all the extra, I didn't need the extra roller coaster of emotion just because. And so that's kind of my thought of it. It's just kind of like, it's okay. It was fine. I still think it was good. I still think it was worth buying. It just wasn't nearly as good as No Game No Life the anime. And that's pretty much, that's my reason why. So now you know exactly why I think what I do. And that's pretty much it. So, like I said, uploads tomorrow should be normal. Wednesday might be a little bit weird, but we're going to make it work. Hopefully we can record anyway. And this will be the only thing going out today. I am already working on season 2 of Yuri, and so you can expect that sometime soon-ish. And the sort of, because I'm bopping through it an episode or 2 a day, so it shouldn't, some point, the next one is coming, and then we'll choose a different anime to watch between seasons 2 and 3, then we'll watch 3, you get the idea, and we will get through it. So, anyway, that is going to call for this one. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the content today, and we will talk to you guys later.